When you first start trying to find answers about someone else's mistreatment of you, someone else's behaviour, it can lead you across narcissism. And then the more you start to look into narcissistic behaviour and narcissistic tendencies, the more you can question whether you yourself are the narcissist or whether people you know are narcissistic. With growing awareness of narcissism, it can become easy to label people as narcissistic individuals. However, not everyone who has a temporary moment of being selfish because they've got something on their plate, a moment of being rude because they've got something else on their mind, a moment of emotional unavailability meets the actual criteria of NPD, of Narcissistic Personality Disorder. People who meet the criteria tend to have that lack of empathy, the sense of entitlement, the exploitative nature, envious of others, believing others are envious of them, the grandiosity, the arrogance, the belief they're special, seeking that excessive admiration. And it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's who they are as a person. And more often than not, they lack the self-awareness. They don't take responsibility. They just look for somebody else to blame. Therefore, someone who lacks consistent manipulation isn't a narcissistic individual. True narcissistic individuals, when it comes to manipulation, it's a way of life. Someone who occasionally lies, someone who tries to get their own way, isn't necessarily a narcissist. Most people have told at least one white lie at one point or another within their lives, and they usually feel bad about it. Most people have tried to get their own way at one point or another within their lives. However, without the criteria, without the pervasive pattern of behaviour, the repeat pattern of behaviour, they're not a narcissistic individual. Narcissists lie, deceive, feel entitled to have everything their own way. They don't change, they don't learn, they don't recognise, they don't grow. Genuine remorse. Narcissists don't do responsibility. They avoid accountability by shifting the blame, by gaslighting other people's reality. They don't want to face the consequences of their actions. So when someone is able to sincerely apologise, take responsibility, reflect on the mistakes that they've made, change their behaviour, they likely don't have NPD. With a narcissistic individual, they go all out to cover their tracks and to scapegoat somebody else into taking the fall for their misdeeds. When empathy exists, narcissistic individuals lack true empathy. They simply do not care. When someone is capable of understanding, of compassion, of that emotional connection, they're not a narcissistic individual. When emotional growth is possible, narcissistic individuals are extremely resistant to self-improvement because they believe they already know everything. They believe they're already better than you. They're already superior. They don't need to change. You need to change. Someone who is open to growth, to therapy, and not to manipulate the therapist for attention, not to manipulate the therapist to shift the blame. Someone who's willing to work on themselves. Someone who's willing to take on board constructive feedback, even if it stings in a moment. Those people are unlikely to be narcissistic individuals. When there's no patterns of abuse, narcissistic individuals follow a pattern of idolization, devaluation, intermittent reinforcement, securing a new supply, discarding, hoovering, smearing somebody's name. Narcissistic abuse follows a very similar cycle. If a person doesn't repeatedly harm others in these ways, when they don't fit the pattern, it's unlikely that they're a narcissist. Someone can get drawn into a narcissistic relationship in the love bombing, and it can take them an average of 7 attempts to escape, and they might fall for another narcissistic person. However, when you look at the wake of destruction left in someone's path, that's when you notice which one's the narcissistic one and which one isn't. Sometimes it does take a time for the narcissist's true character to come to light. When there's no extreme sense of entitlement, people can go out to work for money and they're entitled to that paycheck. People can feel entitled to what they've earned, what they've worked for. People can temporarily be selfish. Narcissistic individuals demand special treatment and become hostile when they don't get the special attention that they believe that they're entitled to. There's also the temporary selfishness and a personality disorder. People can be going through something, so they just need some time to themselves. People haven't got the energy to help a friend, to help a family member at that moment in time. However, if that friend or family member was in desperate need of help, they would usually try to find the energy, and they don't expect anything in return. It's a two-way street. With a narcissist, every action is a transaction. They expect something in return. People can go through selfish phases, especially when they're going through times of hardship, especially when there's a lot on their plate and they're stressed or depressed. With a narcissistic individual, it's ingrained in them. It's their personality. They're incredibly selfish, yet they accuse everyone else of being the selfish one. While narcissistic traits can exist on a spectrum, when it comes to true narcissism, it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's their personality. It's who they are as a person. And we can often excuse or justify their behaviour because many people can have moments of selfishness, moments where they seem to not care. It can be very easy to mislabel difficult people. It's about learning to trust your instincts. And if you can't have healthy, open, honest communication with someone, it's time to stop communicating with that person. It can feel like you're being narcissistic. However, when nothing seems to go through, you might as well save your breath. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do have a few select one-to-one slots available. If you're looking for further reading on narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several books now on Amazon. Behind the Mask, The Rise of the Narcissist, which is the first in a 3-part series, which is a novel. How to Create Boundaries Around Those Who Have No Respect for Your Boundaries. 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People. How to Stay Sane and Break the Chain with Those You Cannot Go No Contact With. Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for recovery and empowerment. And this is a journal, so although there are prompts behind the page, it's all about recognising the abuse itself, and then the little prompts and journaling to help your mindset recover from narcissistic abuse. And then there is a Narcissists Handbook, the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, which is all about the criteria, the different games that they play, how it affects you, and different methods of recovery. If anyone is interested in any of those, they are all available on Amazon. Thank you very much for watching. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.